What's good, everybody? It's your boy That One Dude, and this time I'm gonna be doing another video like I did last time with Hi Damn Iraq. That's gonna bring another channel to the stage, and clearly these guys don't need no introduction because they're a big ass channel. But this channel is Tierzoo, and this is one of their latest videos, so I can also react to the video as we go. So Tierzoo, the niche that it will fill if you want to watch these type of videos is they they are, I mean, it says Tierzoo, right? So they usually rank types of animals in a thing. So for me, I'm a big animal person. Like growing up, I used to watch Animal Planet all the time, History Channel, things like that, and yada yada yada, right? But I love Tierzoo because they kind of put an interesting theme on it. They'll do like some Smash Bros themes. Just do like some video games things, throw it on there. They even got like a series where it's like walking with dinosaurs or something like that, where they actually become a dinosaur, whatever the case is, right? But here you will learn a lot about animals. So if you ever remember Animal Planet, something like that, Most Extreme and stuff like that back in the day, and people used to always watch those type of videos. I mean, this is just like the YouTube version, and he does a really good job. And he really, just watching these videos, you can learn a lot about animals that you didn't even know. Like some of these, I didn't even know, and they really go on like strengths and weaknesses of this animal and how they compare to the other of that, let's say type of species of animal. So let's just go ahead and get into it. I hope you guys really love it because I really love Tierzoo. I'm definitely subscribed and I watch all the videos. So every video they have out, I've watched them. I've even went to the ones that even before I was subscribed to them, I've even watched those. And I mean, they definitely got big. They was like at a couple 100,000 when I subscribed to them. Now they over 1,000,000 something. So, you know what I'm saying? Definitely a really good channel. So let's check it out. All right, so here we go. They have the Pokemon theme. And here you go. You can definitely tell the way they do it. So now they do it in a lot of things.
This video was made in partnership with CuriosityStream. Reptiles are a diverse faction full of many strategies, and generally speaking, they tend to be fairly straightforward. Turtles are tank builds that spec into high defensive stats at the cost of mobility. Crocodiles are damage dealers that focus on grappling to secure kills.
Hey, here you go. They talking about all reptiles, right? So it's kind of unfair if I do it because I kind of know where a lot of these animals fall into the tier list of things, because this is not the first time they talked about snakes, not the first time they talked about alligators or crocodiles or even turtles, right? They probably already did like a turtles tier list. They did a snakes tier list. They did an alligator, crocodile tier list, right? So I kind of or they didn't do a crocodile tier list. I think they did like an African meta tier list. So they do metas, right? So the African meta probably consists of alligators, hippos, the African elephant, lions, yada yada yada, right? Now you get what I'm saying. The Australian meta, all the animals that live in Australia, right? Ranked them in tiers. So I kind of know where all these animals fall into the list. So I'm not gonna do it. But tell me what is the number one ranked reptile. Let's go with the top 5 reptiles, and don't just say crocodile, because you gotta say like saltwater crocodile or the black adder or the something turtle, because they do them with each type, or they may just, since this is not like a snake tier list, they're probably not gonna do each different type of snake. They probably gonna just group snakes. So yeah, tell me who's at the top. Tell me the top three. Yeah, top 3. Let's go with that. All right, let's continue this thing.
Snakes optimize for stealth and rely on status effects to bring down their targets. But where do lizards fit into the meta? They aren't really known for extreme speed, but as far as cold-blooded builds go, they're quicker than most. And while not as tanky as turtles, and not as stealthy as snakes, they can hold their own in each of these departments as well. Some of the larger lizards can even give crocodilians a run for their money in the power category too. While many of them
some bad boys, them Komodos
trades generalists, there are also plenty of lizards with extremely unique abilities. So to better understand the many different
look at
game
that
plans
eye. That thing
employed by
look
the
weird.
Lizard player base, today we're going through the Lizard
Oh.
tier list. Before we get into the tier list,
Hold on, it's not that many. So yeah, give me your top, man. Give me a top 2, because it's not even that many, and it's probably kind of easy to say who's going to be number
first,
one.
I'd like to start with some background on the history.
I already
of the
know
Lizard
it's the
faction.
top one. So,
So
give me
back
top.
during the
Give me top 3.
Carboniferous expansion, the meta revolved around the conflict between the two most powerful factions, the
I've
amphibians
seen this
and the arthropods.
documentary right here.
However, during this
also.
time, a small subsection of the amphibian player base unlocked 2 new special abilities: the eggshell, which allowed them to respawn on dry land rather than in the water, and scales, which gave them massively increased dehydration resistance. This eliminated their reliance on water and allowed them to explore tons of new strategies, eventually diversifying into all of the reptile builds in today's meta, as well as a few that were so overpowered that they ended up getting nerfed.
Who know what
The
that
most
animal was
powerful lizard
called?
build of all time was the Mosasaurus,
Damn, he just said the name. I was about to say, who know what this animal was called?
a build that arose from a player base of beach-dwelling monitor lizards that spec'd into aquatic mobility options in order to avoid being griefed by dinosaurs. But one of the most powerful lizards of today's meta. We're actually going to begin in D tier, as I don't think there are any truly awful lizard builds.
Ooh-wee.
The adaptations they've made to eliminate the
D
weaknesses
tier?
of
That's
their
pretty
amphibian
good that they
ancestors
start
is
in
enough
D
to
tier.
escape bottom tier, in my opinion. So how do lizards stack up? Let's get into the tier list.
Let's go.
In D tier,
Oh,
we have the skink, a smaller lizard build with very little in the way of unique
Oh
special
no,
abilities.
so we going
Their stats
we
are
going
also
lizards
quite low,
instead of
and Their game
reptiles.
plan generally just consists of chasing down players in the lower weight classes, and struggles pretty hard when forced to defend itself. In particular, this build has a lot of trouble dealing with birds.
Oh
Despite
my
the fact that it
god.
often hunts
He
in
just
grassy
got bodied.
fields, it
Hey, you
lacks
hear the
stealth
sounds? Do it
stats
sound
required
like
to avoid
it sound like
detection from above. In fact, many skinks are known for being brightly colored or having one specifically brightly colored body part. Skinks try to avoid being griefed by digging burrows for themselves, and while burrows are a great hiding place, the burrowing playstyle tends to work best when you've got the ability to launch a powerful attack in a single direction, since the bottleneck of a burrow makes it near impossible for a predator to approach without getting hit. Skinks can't really mount any sort of attack, so if their burrow gets discovered, it's most likely game over. The one
Ooh-wee.
defensive ability they do have is one commonly found in the lizard player base.
Don't tell me you
Autonomy.
just
Autonomy
yeah, I'm about to
allows
say
the user to drop their tail in order to get one free escape from a combo
Damn.
or grab. Now, to be fair, being able to break out of your opponent's death combos is an extremely useful trait that can save you from certain defeats.
Yeah.
But with that said, autonomy is extremely costly to use, isn't guaranteed to work, and leaves you with reduced max HP for the rest of the game.
Oh,
even if your
wow.
character has regenerative abilities. For the larger lizard build,
I've seen
losing your
this.
tail also removes one of your best offensive options. But for the skink, this isn't as big a problem. With all that being said, skinks are one of the more lackluster lizard builds.
Yo,
so
this
let's keep
skink
going and get
sounds
some more
trash,
interesting
bro.
ones. Also in D tier, we have the Basilisk Lizard, which is most notable for its use of the sprint ability, not just to move fast on land, but also to cross bodies of water.
Oh yeah,
First,
yeah,
this
yeah.
ability seems quite impressive, and it
This
certainly
was
is a
dope.
flashy move, but upon further examination, I don't think it's really all that useful in the long run. Being on the surface of the water is quite possibly the most vulnerable position in the game, leaving you open to
Yeah.
attacks from above and below.
Oh,
Ultimately, I think it's more important to just point out that the whole reason the reptile
Damn,
faction split
boy.
off from the amphibian player base in the first place was to remove their reliance on water. So choosing an
Yeah.
ability with
Damn,
a pretty
hey,
situational
my
use
man
that
gone,
also
though.
requires
He
the user
gone on that
to
water.
to use it is kind of a step backwards in the grand scheme of
Pew.
things. The Basilisk doesn't even
Hey,
have
boy,
bad
he
stats.
hit
It can
some
use the
smoke
water
on
dash
him.
move without above average mobility. But still, I think its choice of moveset is pretty self-limiting, and they'd be better off speccing into other signature moves. In C tier, we have 2 lizard builds who invested heavily into the climbing ability. The Gecko build operates in a similar manner to the tree
Hey,
frog,
we got a lot
with
of
fling
geckos
pads
out here.
enabling it to climb any surface with ease. As far as mobility perks though, this is probably one of the best in the game. It works great as an escape option, but is also fantastic for utility and even for offense, allowing the user to approach
Hey,
targets that are normally harder to reach.
He hit him with that
Being able to
Yoshi,
hang
boy.
on
If
to
y'all
it
don't know
is
nothing about
also
Smash
super
Bros, let me
important for
know.
arboreal combat, as fall damage is a major threat. With such a strong clinging ability, geckos can often be the ones tossing other players into the void below. Geckos do have a fair number of weaknesses though.
Oh.
They opt to use their tails to store energy, which can be a useful ability, but unfortunately in doing so, they take away the option to use their tails to attack. Geckos also do not have scales, instead opting for skin that gives disease resistance bonuses, so their armor class is lower than that of most lizards, and actually more akin to amphibians. Because of this, they're quite vulnerable to piercing damage, such as bird talons and snake fangs. And with relatively low damage output, their only real hope against such attacks is stealth, which some do definitely excel at.
Ooh, wow.
All in
Yeah,
all,
hey,
solid
shout out to the boy.
The Anole is a small, agile lizard build.
I love these the Anoles. I used to have a tank when I was a little kid. I said a little kid, but like I had them all the way until I was like 18. I had them all the way up to 18. So I had them from probably like 15, 16 till like, let's say 16 to 18. And I had like 2 tanks full of them. I had like maybe 10 lizards, bro.
With a surprising number of special abilities, most notable of which are their adhesive toe pads and their color-changing skin.
Yeah.
Most builds that run the cling pad ability tend to be more bulky and cumbersome. Anoles emphatically break this mold, being both excellent climbers and having a climbing speed that rivals that of the squirrel. Because of this, they're great at escaping attacks by jumping between trees and scrambling up branches. But where things really get interesting is with the color change.
Suck when I used to have to carry.
Now, the ability to change colors is one of the most downright broken stealth perks in the game, and one of the main reasons I consider cephalopods top tier. Anoles.
Hold on. Hey yo, those alligators. I mean, those octopus, yo. I was actually snorkeling, and and I seen the octopus. He runs on a rock to try to get away, or a reef, try to get away from me, and literally stealth right in front of me. The only reason why I seen him is because I knew he was there, but he literally looked like all the reef around him. That shit was amazing.
Have probably the most basic version of the color change perk, allowing them to shift between green and brown at will. While nowhere near as versatile as some other color changing builds, green and brown are pretty much all you'd need the vast majority of the time. This change is very gradual though, so it's unlikely to allow you to escape mid-combat, which is unfortunate because, similar to the Gecko, the Anole suffers from a lack of combat options when caught out in the open.
Ooh, shout out to your boy. Boy, that Gila monster.
Here we have the Gila monster. The Gila monster is one of the tankier lizard builds, and possesses one of the highest damage outputs in the game for it.
I think I'm blocking.
It owes this high damage not to its actual power stat, but to its venomous bite, a rare ability among lizards. This makes them extremely dangerous.
I hope y'all already made y'all thing, but the
excellent defensive stats
I'm guessing the Komodo dragon is number 1.
To easily vanquish all the players in any nest it discovers. The Gila monster is extremely slow moving though, which can cause issues if it's ever forced to flee, or if it needs to chase down a target. The lack of a long whip-like tail also means its defensive combat options aren't near as diverse as other
boy! He put the paws on.
Devastating bites in the game, it's certainly no low tier.
Hey, I really like how this drink is just camouflage. This might be my new
the best representative of the lizard build
for recording,
as it has essentially all the main weaknesses and strengths of its class. I have an entire video on the iguana, so go check that out if you want an in-depth review. But in short, the iguana sports mid-range stats across the board, and is the first lizard on the tier list to make use of its tail for something other than a sacrificial scapegoat. The iguana's tail whip attack allows it to control a solid defensive zone around itself in all directions, enabling it to defend itself from group attacks. Tail whip's damage is on the low side though, so a persistent attacker could potentially just eat the damage in order to break through and land its own attacks. The iguana also has access to the autotomy ability, but this is especially costly in the iguana's case, as it'll also be giving up its best combat move in the process. Overall, a solid mid-tier with lots of potential, especially in the marine servers.
Ooh, wow, okay.
The Chameleon build sports several of the most unique abilities in the game.
Oh, so I didn't even know they'd be on turtles,
the
boy.
Insectivorous ones have
I'm
a
on
pretty
your
simple
head,
gameplay
boy.
for taking down enemies. Chase them down and grab them. This strategy has a lot of limitations though. First of all, it means you've got pretty much no options to attack a player who is too large to grab. It also forces you to optimize heavily towards mobility, forcing you to neglect other potential strategies in order to have a chance at catching up to your target. The chameleon subverts this limitation by speccing into one of the strangest abilities in the game, a tether tongue attack. This essentially functions as a ranged grab, and is extremely effective at scoring the chameleon kills. This also allows the chameleon the freedom to prioritize other stats over mobility, and in the chameleon's case, they're clearly optimized for stealth, as evidenced by their other special ability, Color Change. Now, while chameleons can change color in order to buff their camouflage, most use it for communication and intimidation, shifting to brighter colors to display dominance. While they don't have the same cling pads that geckos and anoles do, their prehensile tail gives them extra security to ensure that they don't get easily ripped out of trees, and allows them to attack from riskier positions. With all this said, though, they still struggle when caught out in the open because of their low mobility.
Damn,
and they also share the same
pulled up on
of not being able to take down players that they can't gulp down in a single bite.
Oh, what?
The Tegu is a lizard build that has long been overlooked, but has recently become a serious contender on the tier list. Its recent invasion into the North American server has destabilized
people now got some of these.
When you look at their stats, it's easy to see why. Tegus are similar in both strategy and stats to the iguana, but slightly slower and more defense-oriented. Their thicker hide and stockier build allows them to shake off attacks that would send other characters reeling. They've also got a higher intelligence stat than most lizards, which, in addition to making them surprisingly decent support builds, also makes them great at outsmarting builds like alligators in order to attack their nests. Tegus are also omnivores, meaning they aren't forced to participate in PvP in order to level up.
Damn.
They did spec into the autonomy ability, though, which
why?
I unfortunately think keeps them out of top tier. Before I reveal the top tier lizards, I just want to say real quick, if you've made it this far and are—
Hold on, what about the monitor lizard? I don't even know. What about the monitor lizard?
enjoying the video,
I know
the
the
make my day if
Komodo dragon's got to be number one, right?
So, without a shadow of a doubt,
the
best
monitor
lizard
lizard
is the monitor lizard. They have everything. They've got the best stats.
Is the Komodo dragon in another category? Is that why?
A combination of great mobility, power, size, and intelligence. Similar to the iguana, monitor lizards have an extremely powerful tail whip, capable of deterring even top-tier predators. Monitor lizards also have a venomous bite, which again is a rarity in the lizard faction. While not the speediest lizards outright, they do have great
monitor
versatility
lizards, probably
in
the
their movement,
Komodo dragon
to swim
too.
efficiently as well as climb most surfaces, though not to the same degree as the marine iguana or the gecko respectively. Their high intelligence enables them to consistently figure out ways to successfully raid the spawn points of other players, and their high defense makes it so they can be rather difficult to stop once they've committed to an attack. This faction also contains the most powerful lizard in the game, a lizard that reaches near dinosaur power levels.
Okay.
Komodo dragons are extremely powerful.
Everybody
they have
shows
a venomous
this video.
bite that, while not as powerful as cobra venom, is still powerful enough to seriously weaken even the tankiest builds. But even without that, they'd be an absolute powerhouse. Their tail swipes, claw slashes, and thrashing bites can easily shred through the HP of their targets. Their only real weakness is their speed, which, while solid, isn't broken by any means. Still, with their incredible sense of
just
smell,
run. You see
a player
that little
can never
mug
really
right
truly
there?
escape a Komodo that's hunting them. The
Run.
distance that you need to flee in order to make the Komodo unable to track you down would require you to leave the island server entirely. Last but certainly not least, Komodos, as well as the entire monitor lizard player base, understand that their tails are an invaluable weapon that shouldn't be sacrificed in order to escape a battle. So there you have it, the lizard tier list.
There you go.
Hopefully now you've got a good understanding of the lizard's strategies and...
Alright, we're good. So definitely check out him, man. I hope everybody really loved this, especially if you're like an animal lover or something like that. Well, not even just animal lover, just like somebody who's interested in things like such as zoology or something like that. Like myself, I love zoology, so I'm definitely always looking up animal videos. I love it. Not like cute cat videos, but like if you could just learn something about them, I really love those type of things. But hey, bro, links in the description, and you already know, bro. So hey, like the video, comment down below if you got the top two right, or top three. I knew the monitor lizard would be on there, but then again, I didn't even know the Komodo dragon was in the monitor lizard category. See, even myself, somebody who's been learning about animals for so long. I mean, you just learn something new all the time with your boy right here. He's definitely out here, man, putting out good quality videos. So definitely go in there, support him, like his channel, especially if you into like anything type of learning. I have a lot more. I have a couple science channels that I really watch like all the time. So definitely come by for those things, because you know I'm posting them down. I'm posting all the guys I like, because you guys recommend stuff to me all the time. So I'm just gonna recommend some stuff that I like, and then we all can like everybody. But like, comment, subscribe, and it's your boy, that one dude. I'm out.